I want to tell you a story about my old man. That is my father. He was born and bred in the country and had worked the land all his life. And he was probably third generation in that district. His forebears had actually opened up the country there and developed it. So he came from a pioneer family. Pioneer families like that were very suspicious of outsiders. And they gave them acceptance or trust very lightly. And they also assumed that the outsider knew very little about the land, that they were basically ignorant. So that's my father. Now there's another person in this story, and that is a young man from the city who's working for the Department of Primary Industry. And his job is to find all the native grasses that exist in the area and to audit that and try to help preserve it. He noticed that there were some native grasses on my father's property. So how should he have approached it? Well, this is what he did. He rang the farm on the phone and got my mother, actually. So the conversation went something like this. Mrs. Borneman, we've found that there's native grasses on your property. And we would like to go on and check those native grasses and help preserve those native grasses. Do we have permission to do that? My mother asked my father about it, and he bluntly said, no, you don't have permission to go on our property. And that was the end of the story. Now, how could have that young man approached it? Did he have any idea what he did wrong in that conversation? Well, this is what he should have done if he understood the local pioneer family. First, he would have come and visited in person. He would have sat down around the kitchen table. He would have had a cup of tea. He would have introduced himself. He would have shared some connection that he had with the district and about his life. And only after that has been established would he have approached the question at hand. And if he did approach the question around native grasses, he should have assumed that my parents knew more than he did. Now, that was very difficult for a university graduate who's come to save the grasslands of the area, because he made his own assumptions around that. But if he'd asked my father how come there's native grasses on there, he could have told him how that land had been managed for the last 100 years and how they combined the level of cattle on that property per acre to ensure that the native grasses remain strong and vibrant. So he began by the wrong assumption, and he began not understanding the insider. As an outsider, he didn't understand how the insider community ticked, which was you have to first build your relationship, you have to build trust, and you want to come asking questions assuming that that local community knows more than you do. If he had done that, he would have got on the property and everything would have been explained to him.